Hello. So, for an upcoming project, I'm learning some jazz stuff, pretty much blind. Called I did a bit on my last improvisation called Rhythm Changes, based on I've Got Rhythm by George Gershwin. And this is entirely new to me, so I don't really know what I'm doing. But I've watched a few videos, and I'm trying to use my ear as much as I can. And basically getting acquainted with the chord sequence, and then figuring out the really, really complicated and obscure world to me of how to shift those chords around in jazz so they sound jazzy. And the most annoying thing is, when I'm playing and I'm thinking chords, the most important notes are going to be this note, which I'll play here 3 times. The root of the chord is going to be the important on the F in this case. And these notes, I'm only going to play once. But the F is important. So if I'm playing, for example, the chords, which are B flat major to G minor to C minor to F7. If I was playing this automatically on the piano, I'd be really broadening out the root, and the 5th I might double, and the D I might play, depending on if I'm doing octaves in the right hand, I might do once or twice. So just automatically I'd be playing this chord sequence like this. I need to remember where I'm going. Then we go to F minor, B flat 7, E flat minor, then to D, G minor, C minor, F7. So I have the chord sequence under my hands in that way. The annoying thing in jazz is, and I memorized this from a tutorial, so the logic for me does not make sense yet, but I'm going to try and understand the logic a little bit. The tutorial that I watched played all the chords like this. Let me see if I can remember. No. Then here, then here, no, here, no, it's not even that. Oh, it's because it's a then it was something like this. This one, and then this one, then up to the weird G chord again, and then here, and then the final 7, F7 is that. So I guess I want to understand firstly, just on that's going to be one of like 100 ways of playing those chords in a jazz style, but I don't even understand that one. So I want to dissect that a little bit. The first chord being this chord, turning into this chord. This one's simple. So we go from the 3 root notes of the 3 main notes of the chord: the B flat, the D, the F. And if we lay them all out, we also have an A and a C. And all we do is we spread it out so the bass is separate, and then we get this chord in the middle. No, this chord in the middle. So like that. The next one is way more complicated for me. G minor goes from here to this. So that apparently is a G minor chord, and this one is the most opaque for me by far. So I don't understand how we got from here to here. Let's look at the notes that remain the same: the G and the B flat. Then we miss out the 5, this note. We go up to the 7, and we'll go down here. We miss out the 5, we go up to the 7. We don't play the A. We play a B flat instead, which is there. So if I'm just laying up up in thirds, ding, 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 ding. That for me, in the key of B flat, is the chord layered up to a 13th, as in 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. Now, the issue being that we lose a lot of these notes, so I'm going to write down the notes of the chord so I can see what they are, so because otherwise it's going to confuse me. So we get the G, the F, and B, but it might be a C flat for all I know. Probably is a C flat. The E flat could be a D sharp for all I know. And a B flat finally on top. And of those notes, which ones align with our 10th kind of thing? So the E flat exists in that. So that one we don't have to worry about too much, that's the 13th. The B flat is there, the G is there, and the F is there. So 3 of our notes are recorded, 4 of the 5 notes are accounted for. If we... So we've got the G, we've got the F, we've got the E flat, and the B flat. And the only thing we're missing the 5, we're missing this note, so we're missing the 9th, no the 11th, we're missing the 11th. And I read somewhere that that's quite common to miss out the 11th. And we're flattening the... No, wait, hang on. 9, 11, 13. We're missing out the 9, sorry. And we're flattening the 11. And then we're rearranging the whole thing. So, G, B flat, F. A doesn't exist. C is flat. And E flat. So, it's bending harmony as much as you possibly can, really. So if we were calling that, that's a G minor with a normal 7, no 11, flat 13, no, flat 11, sorry, flat 11, 13. G minor, flat 11, 13, and that is that. But to me, if I was to see that chord, I almost see A flat minor there with a suspension. But it doesn't sound like that, so. Anyway, that mystery, I think as far as I can tell, that's what that chord is, but I might be totally wrong. Then the next ones are all obvious to me, so. That's a C minor 7, as in C minor. We add the B flat, we move the C down to the bass, and we play the rest of the notes up here. And then this one, we double the F, which I think is a bit unusual, no? And we also have an extra D, so call it 6, call it a 13 as well. Whatever you want to call that, it's F7, 13. Yeah. Oh, hang on. There we go. Then we get D minor. Da. And that D minor, again, we just add the extra 7. Then we get the funky G chord, the C7, and then the F chord again. Now, from here on, I think I understand. So our F minor chord, we play like this. So we have the F, the A flat, the C, which you'd expect, plus the 7, plus the 9. So it's an F minor 9. The next one's cool. And again, I think I understand this because we can layer it up, so. So this is a B flat 7 flat 9 13. As in, we've got the B flat, the D, the F, the C. The B flat, D, F, A flat, C, E, E flat G, if we're layering it all up in the key, we now have an A flat in our key. And all we do is we don't use the E flat. The D moves from the bottom to here. And we flatten the ninth. This C goes to a B natural, I think. And then after that we get, that's E flat major with a 7 and a 9. And then E flat minor with a 7 and a 9. As in, there's our E flat, there's 7, there's 9. Then we go to D7. About as clear as it's going to be in jazz. We get a D, an F, and an A, and then the 7 on top. And that's it, nothing more than that. Then we get our funky G chord again. And then we go to our C7. And then this time we have this chord. And again, this is an F and an A. No C. We have an E flat here. Then we have a G up here. That would be the 9. We miss out the B flat. That would be the 11. But we add the D, which is the 13. So that's an F7 13 with no with no 11. So no B flat. Obscures the harmony too much. Anyway, so you can see the challenge, right? It's very complicated for me to go from one way of thinking where things are just very straightforward, 3 notes, to something like this, where there is logic behind it, but the logic is very strange to me. How do you know? I mean, theoretically, I think it's impossible to tell, for me at least, what notes you should be omitting, what notes you should be adding, and at what point, apart from does it fit into the style of the piece. So that's what I'm struggling with for now. So I want to kind of figure out my own way through this, and the first thing is I'm going to go through the chord sequence again. We'll do it with the right hand. G, C, F7. And we're going to add in all the 7s, just in root position. Oh no, it's there, and then there, and then there, and then there, and then there. And I'm not going to add in 9s for now because it gets too confusing. So 9s are going to come later. The first thing I'm going to do is take those chords, and this is another thing I heard, take the root out, and that'll make it instantly sound more jazzy. So we had our 7 chords. Well, the first thing I'm going to do actually is take those 7 chords and play them in inversions that link into each other. So instead of, for example, we're going to go and not put the G at the bottom, but put the G at the top. So there to there. No 9s for now, remember. Already sounding more jazzy. So let's do a little bit of an improvisation around that to start with. Very super duper slow. That's another thing. I don't know what I'm doing with the right hand, so I'm just going to mess around in B flat major, basically. I heard as well, if you're stuck, play the notes of the chord, the first 4 notes of the chord, which should match the chord, the notes I've got underneath, because I'm only playing 1, 3, 5, and 7. Oops, let's go from there again. I think I missed one. it's sounding like very cheesy, right? This is my cheesy version of jazz, like da da, because I don't really know what to do in the right hand. That note doesn't feel right, does it? Neither does that one. No A flat. No A natural. So that's it with all of the notes in the chord, but rearranged. Now I'm going to really struggle and take the root out of the left-hand chord. And I've heard again that helps to kind of make it sound like the right style. So we're going to still have we'll not add the ninth yet. We'll come to that next. So for now we're going to just do the root omitted, but the other three notes of the chord. So the 3, the 5 and the 7. What that'll do is basically transplant all of our chords a third higher than they should be. So instead of that one, we get this one, which in my language is D minor, but in jazz language, if you rearrange it a bit, I think is B flat major. This is one of the massive obstacles for me, is just a different system of naming, and I'm so stuck with my system of naming. I would just instantly, and again, I think I'm adding the ninth in. Yeah, I am. So for now, we'll stick with that. But the right hand staying in the root of the chord occasionally should help clarify what's going on. So I'm going to have to go really slow. See, that doesn't sound good, does it? Doesn't sound quite right, no. But it's a good exercise, maybe. So now what we'll do is play the chords with the ninth as well. I'll need two hands for this. Root position first, and then with inversions, and then we'll take out the root entirely, and I'll have a 4-note chord of 3, 5, 7, and 9. And again, I don't know if this is the right approach, but I just want to hear how it sounds. So, I've got to remember the sequence. E flat, definitely not, but E natural also sounds crap there. But maybe we'll just have to, we'll keep an E natural for now just because it could be fun. So okay, now it's going to start to scramble my brain now in the inversions. So we need, I'm going to have to go very slow. Yeah, we're looking for 5-note chords every time, basically. That's what I'm going to do, because it's going to get very confusing otherwise. Bass, root, the root of the chord is the bass, and the rest of it is going to get inverted around, so... It's a bit schmaltzy, right? There's a lot of notes in each of these chords now, so... I feel like I can't have the E and the F. Well, for now it's fine. Or maybe we take the F out. I feel like do the opposite of what would be logical to me, so take the weird note out. Oh, the sun. Hang on, I wonder if I can fix that. I forget where we were. Oh, the E, the D chord. But maybe that's just kind of going in the wrong direction. Well, for now, I just need to stick to it. So. Now, one more time, just to get used to it. Try not to get too low on the keyboard this time. Yeah, there's something weird about that chord. I don't know what to do there, basically. Anyway. Now we're going to take the left hand and play the chords rootless. So with the 9 and with the 7. So that's going to be... I'm going to do that before I start improvising, because otherwise I'm going to get very confused. I need to just imagine what note is being played underneath. So B flat underneath, G underneath, C underneath, F underneath, repeat, C underneath, which means I need the 9 and the 7, which is that, and then that, and then this. See, that's a moment where I'd be tempted to go and keep like the 13 or whatever it is. Yeah, 13. The B's nice there as well. So. Cool, cool. And now with a bit of improvisation, the F chord as well. I like things like, just kind of rootless F. Okay, so. Now what did we do here that was nice? No, I don't know on the E flat. I can hear why that chord is nice now, actually. So. What did we just have? Oh, nice. So, that's where I'm at. And at this point I get stuck because I don't know how to progress from here. I think I just need to keep doing this occasionally, but I thought I'd show you where I'm at with learning some jazzy stuff. Or at least, I might be doing it totally wrong. Trying to understand the jazzy stuff at least. So, let's, I think, just leave it there for now. There's really not much more I can do with that. And just remember this chord, that weird stuff I just did, which I think sounds jazzy, came from... I've also heard a thing called about a thing called tritone substitution, which makes life even weirder because you take your chord that would normally be dominant F, and you replace it with the dominant a tritone above or below. It's the same note. In this case, B. But I don't think you can just replace it ad hoc. I think you then have to alter that chord appropriately. Which again is just way beyond what I can do. So I think that's where we get some of these weird overtones from. Those two notes share. I think if you keep the F, but you alter the rest of it, then you get... The B natural really helps add something, but if you have the F sharp... If you play like a B flat... I mean, even... And what happens if you do the F chords in some inversion, but would play like a B scale of some kind? I don't know. That's the thing, I don't know. So this is me fumbling around in the dark and trying to understand what's happening. And we will leave it there.